What is going on, everyone? Today, I just wanted to share with you the overall week update with how we see the economy performing, especially in the stock market, as well as sharing with you one stock that I've been loading up this week. Right now, if you're new to this channel, I'd really appreciate you hitting the thumbs up and subscribing to All I See Is W for more related content, where the goal here is to gain on positive proceeds and lead with an altruistic mindset. I'll also be covering the one hot stock that I believe has the potential for a huge return on investments. I'll share with you why I've added shares to this company and what my price forecast is. Now, let's just begin by talking about the overall markets, right? I mean, this week we've been just seeing just choppy markets overall, right? I mean, over the month of January, we've seen an increase of by about 7% performance with the Dow Jones and S&P. Back in hindsight of 2022, we saw the performance drop by about 18%, right, with the margin of 12% at the end of January. However, with this week alone, we've seen one of the worst weeks to date, and most of you are wondering, like what's going on here, right? I mean, are we in a bear trap here? Are we going to see a double dip? Is there going to be a black swan event, right? I mean, all of that remains undetermined. However, just based on the data that we're seeing, especially with Jay Powell's results that he shared in the recent days before, based on the job markets, I mean, we're seeing good progress with unemployment rate going down, even though we're seeing companies lean out, right, cutting costs, improving their operation margins with profit, right? I mean, what companies are doing is they're trying to chop down on the high salary paying jobs while having an increase in the job markets, like at Chipotle, at Starbucks, at the companies that are able to afford jobs where they don't have to pay so much. So as a result, the average salary is really going to decrease when you look at it from a global scale, right? And what is that going to do, right? That's really going to be a strategy for disinflation, right? And that's a good sign for us to see as a bull signal, seeing the average salary decrease, and as a result, we'll see the inflation actually go down. We're hoping for a soft landing, right? Not having like a landing where there's going to be significant turbulence or dropping down very hard, where we'll see recession potentially kicking in. Right now, just based on the data that we're seeing, this is looking good because we're not seeing, the percentage of unemployment going up. And just looking at how we assess supply and demand, I mean, even today with news of Lyft, right? I mean, the company dropped by about 35% in its share price. Why is that the case? People are picking up additional jobs, or they're trying to be Lyft drivers, Uber drivers, and what does that do? That increases the supply and the amount of people you have in terms of driving, and the demand starts going down, and as a result, that really dilutes the overall cost price, and that's why you see the company's share price reflected today dropping significantly. So it's all just economic supply and demand of what we're seeing. But overall, when you look at it on a global scale, while we see this week being very bad, there's definitely room for growth here. I mean, when there's uncertainty, I take advantage of that, and that's why I've been investing, right? Even though we see inflation at its high point, there's some positive signs with unemployment rate going down as being one. Also, just with seeing how the Fed has been attacking this problem, right, by marginally decreasing the amount of rate increases, right? I mean, at one point, rate increases was by about 0.75%, 0.5%, and just recently it was at a 0.25% increase. So with this reduction, we see that inflation may be trickling down here, right? We may be at the peak and now it's going down, and that's a good sign, right? So those are some signs to really consider here, and this really boosts the overall confidence in the investor market. And this is why I think, investing specifically in the year 2022, when there's that bloodbath, now is also an opportunity to buy on the discounted stocks. And I'll share with you one company that I believe is currently discounted, and let's dive deep into this company. I'll be sharing with you Mullen Automotive. This is ticker MULN in the electric vehicle space. So this is an American-based EV company that's based out in Southern California. In fact, there's car dealerships all around California, Arizona, and in fact, there's also news that I'll be sharing with you where they actually have their products commercialized in the areas of like Ireland as well. Now, just looking at it from a technical standpoint, just looking at it from a 5-year trajectory here, it's down by about 94%, right? I mean, that here is buying it at a value discount here, right? Will the company go out of business? I don't think so. I mean, they're expanding their initiatives. They have more projects in the pipeline, and there's a increase in investor confidence here, and this is why I think this is a great opportunity. Also, if you do consider investing, please make sure to do your research and take my information as guidance only. Today, just going back in a zoomed in perspective, right? I mean, the share price here, I mean, at one point today, it reached 33%. It was down by about 5%. And towards the end of the market, it ended by gaining by about 1%. So it grew by about 6% today, right? So Mullen Automotive, just based on all the EV companies today, it did really well today, right? You compare it to like Tesla, Lucid, Mullen actually performed pretty well today. Now, when you scale this out on a 5-day trajectory, this is an opportunity to buy lower here, right? I mean, 1 month scale, it's down by about 9%, but if you look at just overall year to date, it's up by about 13%. It's been gaining traction since Q4 of last year. I mean, it dropped to one point at like 18 cents in December, so it's gained by about 1x since December timeframe. So we're beginning to see consolidation pick up here, right? And when we zoom out on a 1-year scale here, right? Back in 2022, it was hovering at like $3. Right, you scale back here, back in 2020, it was at $15 and $13 at the end of 2021. I definitely think from a technicals, fundamental standpoint, buying at the basement low, what goes down will eventually go up. Now, just to dive deep in terms of the news release here is now Mullen Automotive here. I mean, they confirmed that the iGo has arrived in Ireland, right? And that the starting price would be about $11,999 plus VAT and transportation costs. I mean, year to date, I mean, since this article was released, it's up by about 20%, right? And it's great news seeing that Mullen has arrived in Ireland, right? So planting the seeds in different countries, and this is huge for a company that's beginning to scale up in the UK and Ireland region, right? And they're hoping to have more iGos purchased, right, for demonstration and purchase of like 500 iGos per year as a starting point. So this is great news here, right? I mean, even though it's not scaling up into the thousands, tens thousands, this is a starting point, and I think that over time, there's going to be more and more iGos on the road that will be seen in the UK and Ireland space, plus having like the value-added tax and local transportation costs. And the unique thing with the battery pack is that it can drive up to 124 miles, right? I mean, especially for the costs here for 11,000, close to 12,000, that's not pricey, and people can afford that. So tapping into that niche market where consumers can afford it. And now, just going to a different source article here, just wanted to share with you that Virtue Financial LLC actually upped their game with the amount of shares that they own for the company, right? So in Q3, they actually purchased an additional 320,000 shares, previously owning 675,000 shares of the company Mullen, and that's huge. And they also have different investors. Equity Services raising their amount of shares, Atra Wealth Solutions, Rumblind Advisors purchasing more shares. So a lot of institutional investors are beginning to beef up their amount of shares that's being held, especially in the third quarter of the year, right? So this is looking huge here, as you can see. I mean, there's a lot more inflows with investing here in the quarter Q3 of 2022. We're beginning to see more consumer investors come in, right? Especially like me coming in this quarter of the new year, because we're seeing great results so far with bullish signals that's coming in. Now, just to share with you an article released on Yahoo, MULN Automotive actually partners with Loop Global Menzies Aviation, right? The fact that this company is based out in Southern California, MULN is partnering up with Menzies Aviation and Loop Global on a pilot program at the Los Angeles International Airport, the LAX, and this program involves MULN's Class 1 EV cargo vans, the world's largest aviation services, and it operates about 250 plus airports in 58 countries. So there you have it. I mean, they're trying to work on a global scale initiative to roll out EVs, specifically Mullen's EVs, across the board in the aviation space to improve the operations, specifically in the aviation industry. This is huge because we know LAX as an airport, there's a lot of high foot trafficking going on here, and this really is a huge milestone partnership for Mullen, specifically with its Class 1 EV vans to be used in the LAX operations, right? Loop is one of the fastest growing electric vehicle charging network infrastructure companies in the world, and Menzies is a well-respected leader in the aviation industry. So it's great for the CEO of Mullen to partner up with this company. And this is what the CEO of Mullen noted here: our commercial EVs are a natural fit for airport service and logistics operations, working together with Menzies and Loop providing a full EV ecosystem solution is a great opportunity for Mullen. Now, with all of the source information that I shared with you, I just wanted to go back to the price points, right? Now, just looking at it from a year to date here, right, we see the current price at 36 cents. Most of you are wondering, oh, well, is it going to go up to its prior resistance? As you can see here, the 52-week high of $4.18. I'm forecasting, it's a bullish forecast, and of course, I do see a bullish signal here. I may be incorrect, but from my perspective, I believe Mullen is going to hit $2 at a minimum in the year 2023, right? So mark my word for that. At a minimum, it'll hit $2. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, right, with me sharing with you updates on the overall stock market and what company I've been investing in and what my price target is. And I hope you enjoyed the source information I was able to share with you. So thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up and like, subscribe. Please leave your comments and questions down below, and let's join this journey together of gaining on positive proceeds and leading with an altruistic mindset. Thank you all.